Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. This is our preschool kindergarten information night. We're going to talk to you a little bit about the programming that we have at Springdale and how to get registered. So the Princeton City Schools mission is empowering each student for college, career, and life success. Springdale Elementary this year has 431 students in preschool through 5th grade, and we have about 125 that are remote this year. So our numbers are down a little bit this year. We think because of the pandemic, typically we have a few more students than that. The new Springdale Elementary building was built in 2006, and when you are able to come to the building, you'll see that it was built to look much like the original Springdale Elementary, at least in the front. Our school was rated the #5 most diverse public elementary school in Ohio. And we are a national distinguished school, which was a big honor that we received this year it's the National Title I group. And there were 2 in the state of Ohio and 57 in the entire country. And I'm going to introduce our first, our kindergarten teachers. When I introduce them, if they could wave so you can see who they are if they happen to be on your screen. We have Miss Davis, Mrs. Dreyer, and Mrs. Gerbis. And these are their pictures. If you couldn't find them on your screen, I'm sure they'll be thrilled that I did that. I'm going to let them talk to you about the kindergarten program. We did put a picture from last year so you could see what our students look like without masks. And then on the other picture, you can see what they look like with masks. Hopefully soon we won't have to wear those masks anymore, but we're staying very safe and it's worked out very well so far this year.
Parents often wonder if their child is ready for kindergarten. So if you are wondering that, here are some top readiness skills that they should display. Are they excited about school or excited to grow as a student? Can they speak using complete sentences? How are their listening skills? I know sometimes it doesn't appear that they listen to you, but in general, do you think they listen to you? Are they interested in building independent skills, doing things for themselves and not just relying on you to do everything for them? Are they able to play and communicate with their peers? And do they possess basic letter and number recognition? For lunch, full-day kindergarten students will eat lunch in the lunchroom every day. They may pack their lunch or they could choose to buy. If you need an application for free or reduced lunch, you will want to fill out the paperwork as soon as possible. You'll be responsible for paying for lunch each day until your application is approved. You will need to apply each year for free or reduced lunch. And in the event of a 2-hour delay, AM kindergarten students will stay all day and they will be served lunch.
All right. Hi, guys. My name is Mrs. Gerbis. I am the half-day kindergarten teacher, so I teach the AM kids. So kindergarten expectations. So in kindergarten in general, students will complete reading and math homework each night. So for math, the worksheet usually takes less than 5 minutes. And then for reading, it can vary depending on your child's skill level and then where we are in the year. Sometimes earlier in the year, it only takes about 5 minutes, but as we kind of get a little further in the year, it could take a little bit longer, probably about 10 to 15 minutes, but only not too much. I mean, since it's kindergarten, we're just kind of dip their feet in it and get their feet wet with homework and what's to be expected. And then in kindergarten, so we're learning to be respectful, be responsible, and be safe. But overall, really, we want to know that we want them to grow and develop, be able to listen, follow directions, become independent problem solvers. So figure things out on their own, or at least begin to. And then follow the expectations of the school, you know, how we do things. I mean, there's a specific rule on how to be safe in the school. So we really want them to kind of jump in and figure out how we do things as a group. And then in general, children are still learning and developing both socially and academically throughout the school year. So we're going to continue to be positive reinforcement. We're going to continue to positively reinforce skills and expectations.
Hi, everyone. There are some things you can be doing in the next few months to get your child ready for kindergarten. Some of those things include reviewing name recognition with uppercase and lowercase letters. That's letter name recognition. So learning some of their letter names and the beginning sounds in words, recognizing numbers 1 through 10, and being able to count verbally up to 20. You can also help them develop self-help skills such as tying their shoes or zipping their coats or washing their hands. Building that independence is something we really work on in kindergarten. So it's a great idea to start developing those independent self-help skills in the coming months. You could also make sure that they're starting to hold a pencil, and cutting with scissors is another skill you can start developing before they come into kindergarten.
I had a lot of people enter the Zoom during your session while the kindergarten teachers were speaking. So I just wanted to say I'm Lisa Tenbarge, the building principal. This entire presentation is being recorded and will be on the website. If you missed any of the first part of it, that'll be available. Our preschool teachers are Ms. Cahill and Mrs. Holcomb. Mrs. Holcomb had a baby today, so she couldn't be here for obvious reasons. But I did put up pictures of both of our teams. So we have in one of our preschools, we have Ms. Cahill and Mrs. Lohmeyer, and in the other, we have Mrs. Holcomb and Ms. Owens. We have 4 sections of preschool. There are 2 morning and 2 afternoon sessions, and I will let Mrs. Cahill take it from here.
Hi. Oh, there we go. Our program is rated 5 stars by the state of Ohio, which means that we meet certain quality standards for the state of Ohio for early childhood programming. And our preschool program is basically working on all of those things that the kindergarten teachers just talked about. What we are working on is the whole child. We are developing social and emotional skills, which means sharing, taking turns, resolving conflicts, being able to control their emotions and learning about their emotions. We also work on physical development, which is fine motor and gross motor, holding a pencil, zipping their coat, using scissors, being able to hop and jump and catch. We also work on language development. Oral language is a very big part of preschool. We're working on vocabulary and introducing new words to them all the time. Literacy, they're learning to retell stories, they're learning about rhyming, letter names and sounds. And in math, they're learning to count, identify numbers, sort, they're working on patterns, comparing shapes and positional words. So all of those things that the kindergarten teachers talked about, we are preparing them for. So some of the preschool expectations are students must be 3 by September 30th. 4-year-olds do take priority in the state of Ohio, so they get the first slots. They need to be fully potty trained in order to be enrolled. Our program, as she said, runs 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. There's 2 half-day sessions in each preschool program. There are 2 classrooms. They run from 9 to 12:10 and 12:50 to 4:00 p.m. We do not provide lunch to our students. The morning students do get a breakfast. The snack is provided daily as part of our program. And any food allergies that your child may have, please make us aware of. And preschool students are able to ride the bus if they're in the attendance area. And if you want your child to wear a harness, which is basically a seatbelt for them on the bus, you must contact transportation and make a written request for that.
I'm going to introduce Mrs. Hardman. She is our school health aide, and she'll talk to you about some of the medical and dental requirements for coming to preschool and kindergarten.
Hi. Few things. The forms that need to be completed are medical and dental evaluations. Preschool and kindergarten must have a completed form at their time of registration, and exams must be within 1 year prior to the actual enrollment date. Once they're in school, preschoolers need to keep their medical and dental evaluations current with the school year. So for example, if it was done March of 2020, it would have to be renewed by March of 2021 for them to be compliant. Current immunization records must be presented with the medical evaluation for both preschool and kindergarten. The TB testing is required, but only for students that are coming from a foreign country with high TB rates. Records that are not in English, we do ask that they be translated if possible into English. Lack of medical or dental and/or compliant immunization records are reasons for exclusion. If your child needs these evaluations, please give us a call. We do have some places we can help set you up for appointments for your immunizations and for both dental and medical evaluations. The emergency medical authorization forms are now going to be on our final forms platform, so that you would fill out there. The only other thing, medical form that I would need to be filled out is if your child is on any kind of medication, and that form could be found in the student service section, services section on our website, on the Springdale website, that you would actually have to print off and take to your physician if your child is on any kind of over-the-counter or prescription medication. Health history is also now listed on final forms, which I think Lisa is going to talk about here in a little bit. That's where you would list all medical issues that we need to be made aware of, any food allergies that require omission or emergency medication should be discussed with me. Special dietary needs or omission of certain foods should obviously be discussed with me as well. All medications, and even over-the-counter meds that are to be given at school are required to have an administration of medication form signed by the doctor and be updated annually. Again, this is a form I was just talking about that you can find on either the home webpage of Princeton City Schools or on Springdale's homepage under student services that you can print off for your physician to fill out.
Okay, so how to register. We're going to have registration information using final forms beginning tomorrow, March 5th. That's open to all buildings beginning tomorrow. You'll go online, and when you get to final forms, I'll show some slides about that next, but spaces are first come, first serve as families are registering. So I would recommend registering as soon as possible. If you have a preference like AM preschool, those usually fill up first. And if you want full or half day kindergarten, you can apply for those as well now. And as soon as your registration is complete, then you've secured your space in that class. Between May and July, you'll receive a letter stating which kindergarten session, full or half day, your child has been assigned. But people who wait until after May not get their first choice, especially with AM and PM preschool. As I said, that AM fills up the fastest. Additional registration information, please check that you have the, we aren't going to give out packets today, but we will have packets available at school, and I'll explain more about that in a little bit. But there will be a checklist of things that you need to do, but everything is on final forms, so you'll be able to access and work through that. We will have paper copies if people want them, because there are forms you have to take to the dentist and the doctor to have filled out, but you can print them off the website or you can pick them up at the school if you prefer. And if you only have one copy of the medical and dental form, you're going to be scanning it into final forms, or if you need the help with that, you'll want to keep a copy for yourself for your own records and not give the school your only copy. In the state of Ohio, if mom and dad have never been married, mom has custody, and that is the custodial parent, and that's the only one who can register the child and would sign off on those forms and final forms. And they also need to have their name listed on the rental agreement within the attendance area. This year, full day kindergarten is $386 per month. It is tuition based. Preschool is also tuition based. And this year, the full tuition rate is $298 per month. We do have a sliding scale that is offered, but you need to complete the tuition form found on final forms to receive the sliding scale. So this year we have online registration with the Welcome Center. So I put a copy of, when you go to the Princeton Schools website, you would choose Welcome Center, and then you can see on the left-hand side, it says Final Forms, and that's where you're going to go to register. And when you click on Final Forms, you would click the New Account button if you don't have a student at Princeton yet. You can log in if you already do and have created your Final Forms account, but most of you probably are new, and you'll click the new account button. It will ask you some information about yourself, your name and email address. And when you enter that, it will send you an email. So you will need to go in and access your email, and that will give you a link to log into your account and create a password. And once you do that, it will take you step by step through the forms. And as you complete them, they turn green, and you just keep working through them till everything's complete. You can go ahead and get started even if you don't have those medical forms completed yet. You can fill out everything else, and then you can bring those, upload those when you have them, because we know that sometimes takes a little longer because people haven't been to the doctor lately, especially due to COVID. Some of the people have not had their yearly checkups, so you can get those and add those later. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to stop sharing my screen and put everybody's picture up. What I'm going to ask is we can put you into breakout rooms if you're interested in preschool with the preschool teachers, kindergarten with the kindergarten teachers, and we also have Mrs. Dorn here who can translate to Spanish if anyone needs translation. So I guess what I'm going to have you do, since a lot of people don't have their pictures up, I was going to have you raise your hand if you're in kindergarten, but if you don't have your picture up, you can actually raise your hand with the reactions at the bottom, or just put a thumbs up if you're in kindergarten. So Mrs. Vanel can see who's going to go with the kindergarten teachers into that breakout room.